What's beyond the universe? I mean, it's a huge question, right? One we've all probably thought about.
Definitely. Stare up at the stars and wonder, is there an edge? Or does it just, go on forever?
Or maybe, what if our universe is just sitting there in the middle of, well, nothing? What does that even mean?
Exactly. It's a puzzle that's fascinated people for ages. You've got thinkers like Erwin Schrödinger telling us to think the unthinkable.
Yeah.
And then there's that simple question maybe you had as a kid, what is beyond everything?
Right. Well, welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into something called the Infinite Containment Paradox. It's from Anubhav Srivastava's book, Nothing, Everything. And it really messes with that basic idea that everything has to be inside something else.
It does. It creates this kind of endless loop in your head.
So our mission today, let's try to unpack this paradox and see what it might mean for you and how you see reality.
So the paradox really kicks off with that basic thought. Okay, we've got galaxies, stars, space. What's outside that? If you imagine an edge, and beyond it is just nothing, then our universe is contained in that nothingness.
Okay.
But if there's something else out there, maybe more universes, a multiverse.
Then what's beyond those?
Yeah.
You see the problem.
We just keep asking what's beyond forever.
It reminds me a bit of, when people thought the Earth was flat. What's beyond the edge?
Right. We found out it's a sphere, problem solved, but here, it feels different.
It does. And science tells us space itself is expanding, stretching like a balloon. But, what's it expanding into?
That's the kicker, isn't it? And what contains that space? Where does it stop, if it ever does?
Yeah.
And the source we're looking at makes a really important distinction here, which I think is key.
Okay.
We need to be clear about what we mean by nothing. We're not just talking about empty space, like a vacuum between galaxies.
Right. That's what the source calls physical nothing, isn't it? It still has physics, space-time, quantum fluctuations, maybe. It's still something.
Precisely. It exists within the framework of physics as we know it.
But the paradox forces us to think about a deeper kind of nothing.
Exactly. Absolute nothing. That's the term used. This isn't just an empty box.
It's what? No box at all.
Yeah. No time, no space, no dimensions, no physical laws. Not just beyond our universe, but beyond any possible universe or multiverse. Just nothing. The complete absence of anything, including the possibility of containment itself.
Wow. Okay. That's hard to grasp.
It is. And that's where the infinite loop really hits. If you ask, what's beyond the ultimate physical reality?
Yeah.
The answer can't be more physical reality because that just continues the loop.
So the only alternative seems to be this absolute nothing.
Right. But then the really startling question arises. If absolute nothing is the boundary, then what are you doing existing smack dab in the middle of it?
It feels like our brains aren't built for that idea. We think in terms of containers, locations.
We do. It's like trying to imagine something outside of existence itself. This paradox really throws a wrench into that default thinking.
It's almost like thinking about characters in a video game, Their world has boundaries on the map. Beyond that for them is just nothing, code maybe, but effectively nothingness from their perspective.
That's a good analogy.
But the paradox asks us to consider that we might be those characters, existing within something that's fundamentally not a place, not a container.
And some people might jump to, maybe it's a simulation, like the video game.
Okay, but doesn't that just push the problem back?
Exactly. What about the simulators? What's their reality contained in? Are they inside absolute nothing?
Right. It doesn't actually solve the infinite regress.
It just shifts it up a level. So the source argues that a purely physical ultimate reality seems logically impossible because of this containment issue.
So where does that leave us? This isn't just a fun thought experiment then, is it? It seems to have real consequences for how we understand existence.
It really does. This infinite containment paradox, as presented, leaves you with, two pretty stark possibilities.
Okay, what are they?
Possibility one, your entire life, everything you perceive, everyone you know, it's all fundamentally an illusion. None of it has existed in the way you think it has.
That's deeply unsettling.
It is. It suggests our whole perception of reality is just wrong. Or the second possibility.
Which is?
That maybe we do exist, you exist, but in a way that's completely different from what we currently understand as real life. Our existence isn't based on being in a physical place in the way we assume.
So a different kind of reality altogether, beyond our current physical understanding.
Potentially. something that operates under different rules than simple physical containment.
Okay, let's recap briefly. We've journeyed through this infinite containment paradox. We wrestled with this idea of absolute nothing, something beyond empty space, beyond time, beyond multiverses even.
And the core idea is that if everything physical needs a container, you get an infinite loop. So a purely physical ultimate reality might be impossible.
Which forces you to confront that big question, is life an illusion?
Or do we exist in some fundamentally different way than we currently grasp?
So here's the final thought to leave you with. If our existence is somehow literally in the midst of this absolute nothing, like those game characters on their map, what does that actually imply for your day-to-day reality? How might that completely different kind of existence actually, feel or manifest?
Yeah, what does real even mean in that context? It's something that could really shift your perspective on everything.